Hey everybody, MegaLakeBodom back here with the deck tech for you. This is my current version of Leviathan Control. Now some background with me and Leviathan Control. I did run a version of Leviathan Control at KMC. It's sort of a last minute choice. And that build that I ran at KMC was more of like Bobby Brake's version that he had won with. This one you see before you is more streamlined. It's 44 cards in total. It's got 16 Leviathans. I removed the discard package and jacked up the blockers a bit, and basically it's just control-y. It's very defensive with all the blockers, and they do get pretty big in this deck. I've got a decent amount of removal, and I've got some nice finishers. So like I said, it's 44 cards, so it's streamlined down from my original 54 build that I ran at KMC. I believe that's what Bobby Brake ran for the championships as well. And I'm just going to go over it card by card, and then if I have time at the end, I'll go over how it's been testing. So we'll start with the water section up there. Pretty big water section in this deck. Water is the most dominant color in the deck. So we've got 3 Crystal Memories. Great draw card. Awesome if I can get it off in the shields or even cast it turn 4. Crystal Memory lets me go and get some of my 1-ofs. And I do run a couple 2-ofs to kind of streamline the deck. So Crystal Memory is very live in this deck. Decent amount of turn 5s. So I can Crystal Memory on turn 4, go grab one of those turn 5s and play it. Moving right along, we'll get into the first Leviathan of the deck, King Barnacle, which is new from Invasion Earth set. He's a 5-drop, he's got blocker guard, and he's got this ability when he comes into play, I draw a card, and when he blocks, I draw a card. So with 5,000 power, he's a house. He's going to sit there for a while and protect my shields. Plus I draw a card when he comes in, and when he blocks, I draw a card. So it gives me some pretty good card advantage. And he's one of the reasons I actually threw Leviathan Control back together, because one of the issues I had with Leviathan Control that I ran at KMC was I only ran the 3 Aqua Striders and the 1 Wave Lancer for a blocker, and against aggro decks I just got rushed out too quickly. So King Barnacle, really good. We're a run of 2 of. Moving into another 5-drop Leviathan, I've got 3 King Neptus, and he's a house in the control matchup. You know, he can't be targeted because he is hexproof. And he is a Leviathan, and he's turn 5. So with Crystal Memory, I do have the option of going turn 4 Crystal Memory, turn 5, grab either a King Barnacle to be defensive, or if I want to get in there quicker against a control deck, I'm going to go grab my King Neptus. So, of course, everybody who knows Leviathan knows that King Coral is the most essential part of the Leviathan control deck because of his Tail Smash ability, which bounces every creature level 4 or less back to the hands. King Coral is a house in the Rush matchup or the aggro matchup, and Bobby Brake even used him to bounce his own Fumes, play Fumes again. So I don't run the discard package in here because I opted for more removal and blockers, but King Coral is still a house, and I do max him out at 3. With all the Leviathans, like I said, a total 16 Leviathans right now, he's extremely live, and especially with the lower casting Leviathans like King Barnacle, King Neptus, and even the Wave Lancer down here, King Coral is extremely live. One of my 1-ofs is King Albaran, which, first of all, it's awesome that he's a Leviathan, which makes him, you know, just a house with King Coral. But the fact that I can use what he has, his Scry ability, which if anybody plays Magic, lets you look at the top card of your deck and either put it on the bottom or put it into your hand because it's before the start of your turn. With a Double Breaker 7000 Leviathan, I think he fits the deck really well at a 1-of. I was considering maybe going up to 2. I would never max him out, but right now he's working really well with at 1, especially with the Crystal Memory. Going to get King Albaran when I need him. So that's King Albaran. We'll get right into the big boss over here, King Tritonus, which of course, you know, is the biggest Leviathan. He's 10,000. He's 10 drop for 15,000. He's got that Water Monarch ability. He's a triple breaker. He lets me draw 5 cards when he comes down. I usually always draw 5 cards, unless we're getting towards endgame, where I'm concerned about decking myself out. And of course, he does have that Constrict ability, which I need to remember to activate all the time. When I play a spell, creature can't attack, can't block. Because there are quite a few spells in the deck, it's definitely live. So that's my water section. We'll get into a dark, and then we'll go down to light, and then we'll talk about the multi-civs. Like I said, I wanted to ramp up the amount of blockers I have in the deck, so I did throw in 3 Scaredorables. Really good blocker. I know people started to axe him out of decks because of Falcora. I'm really not concerned with Falcora. His low power really doesn't scare me. So Scaredorable still a good blocker in the deck, in decks out there right now. So I do run 3 Scaredorables as a dark blocker. Really good on turn 3 because I can go turn 2 Aqua Strider, turn 3 Scaredorable, turn 4 maybe even a keeper laws down here, and then get into my King Barnacle on turn 5. So right there is kind of a description of a good turn progression. A card from the new set, Invasion Earth, that I'm really liking is Snake Trap. It's removal, and it's also got the ability to help me in either the mirror match or even against the Monarchs. Snake Trap, of course, gives one creature negative 2,000. Queen Kalima does have 1,000 over King Tritonus, so Snake Trapping a tap Queen Kalima and swing with Tritonus is a good way to remove Queen Kalima. Snake Trap, very viable against the Dragon matchup. Turn 3, they're usually playing like a Lux, a Nyx, or an Umbra. I could easily Snake Trap them. I think that's a better choice than Toxic Fog, to be honest with you. I prefer Snake Trap over Toxic Fog. Then of course you got your 3 Bone Blades and your 3 Terror Pits. Simple removal. Everybody knows what they do. They're there for removal. Small guys, big guys. Great mana fixing early turn on the Terror Pit. Bone Blades, is viable in most decks. Like I said, we'll skip the multi-sibs for now and go right down to light. Very small light section, running 2 Keeper of Laws. Considered making it 3 Keeper of Laws, dropping 1 King Neptus and putting in another Keeper of Laws, or even jacking it up to 45. It's a toss up there. Right now, I like it at 2 right now, because, for the most part, I'm going to late game, and I'm going to swing with one of my big dudes. But there has been games where I go, maybe an unsafe Keeper of Laws turn 4, and throw down a King Neptus on turn 5. Gets really hard to remove either of them, and I'm swinging for early game. Then we go into Storm Sparks. They're early turn mana fixing for light because they don't have a lot of light cards, and it's also great in the shields or for an Alpha Strike, or even doing Storm Spark, snake trapping a creature, and running into it. So Storm Spark, everybody knows what it does. Then I run the 2 Andromedas. Andromedas are fairly essential in most control builds. I'm keeping it at 2 right now. I could test 3, but I like it at 2. Like I said, I'm trying to streamline it, trying to keep it down as low as possible, make my shield blasts more efficient. So we'll get into the multi-sieves. I got, of course, 3 Aqua Striders. Everyone knows what Aqua Strider is. It's one of the quintessential blockers in the game right now. Any deck that runs light water is usually running at least Aqua Strider as a blocker. And rightfully so. It's a 4,000 blocker, 2-drop. It seems pretty good. Then the 3 Piercing Judgments, which is of course a bonkers card. There's crazy combos you can play with it. Piercing Judgment with a Snake Trap, and there's just endless combinations you can do with Piercing Judgment. I've even been so far as to tap one of my opponent's creatures, bounce a King Barnacle so I can draw another card, or bounce another Leviathan when I have King Coral on the field to reuse them. Stuff like that. I've got the 1 of Wave Lancer, just like Bobby Break ran. The 1 of Wave Lancer seems to be pretty efficient at this point. I often get him with Crystal Memory on turn 4, Crystal Memory turn 4, Wave Lancer turn 5. Unless he's in the shields, then I get a King Barnacle or King Neptus. So decent turn progressions there. Wave Lancer. And then, of course, the big boss sitting here, Squalachi Scourge, which is probably one of my favorite cards of all time. It's just bonkers and overpowered. And the fact that you can go King Coral, throw down Squalachi Scourge, trigger King Coral, discard your hand with Squalachi Scourge, it's bonkers. It's basically a free turn. That's the win condition all day long. Squalachi Scourge comes down, I'm getting in for the win. That's basically it. So that's my current Leviathan Control deck. 44 cards, 16 Leviathans, and it's streamlined right now, and it's testing pretty well. I've got a couple videos up of me testing against some more aggressive decks. I'd like to get some more tests against control decks. Just having the Keeper of Laws and the King Neptus in there, I'm not sure if that's enough to go against the control decks, or whether I should be testing more of the discard decks as well. Stuff like Mesmerize in here, maybe even Maddening Whispers. So yeah, that's the current version of Leviathan Control. 44 cards, 16 Leviathans, decent turn progressions. I'll be working on Leviathans for a while, as long as they allow Squalachi Scourge into the format. I'll be working on decks like this, because I do like Leviathans. Water's my favorite civ, and yeah, I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Like, comment. If any of you guys have any ideas on what you want to see, let me know. I want to start putting a lot more content out there. I want to do some discussion videos. I want to do, I want to show my passion for Cut Judo, so I want to do as much as possible. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.